All right, let's talk about something that is incredibly frustrating. Are you stuck on that physical therapy merry-go-round? You feel better for a week, maybe even a month, and then bam, that same old pain is right back where it started. It's enough to drive you crazy. And today, we're gonna pull back the curtain on the real reason it keeps happening. So let's just get right to it. What if the problem isn't your bad back or your bum knee? What if the actual root cause is something you're not even thinking about? Seriously, what if it's your mind that's actually keeping you locked in that cycle of pain? And this is the core idea right here, and it's a powerful one. If your pain is a recurring character in your life story, maybe the issue isn't a permanent physical problem. Maybe it's a cognitive block, something in the way you think, react, and process what your body is telling you. So let's break that down. Most of us, and I mean almost all of us, live in fast reaction mode. The pain hits, and we immediately grab the ice pack or the painkillers. It's a Band-Aid. But the key, the real secret to long-term healing is slow processing, actually stopping and thinking, wait, why did that hurt? It's about becoming a detective instead of just a firefighter. Now, to get good at that, we need to understand a couple of big ideas. First up is metacognition. This sounds complicated, but it's not. Think of it as your brain's built-in coach. It's that little voice that can watch what you're doing and say, hey, your form's getting sloppy there, let's fix it. It's the skill of self-awareness in action. And the second big idea is executive function. If metacognition is the coach, executive function is the CEO of your brain. It's the part that says, okay, I know these exercises are boring, but they're part of the long-term plan for getting better, so we're gonna do them, no excuses. It's all about playing the long game. Okay, so with those two concepts, the coach and the CEO in our back pocket, let's dive into the 5 most common mental mistakes. These are the cognitive traps that absolutely sabotage your recovery and keep you stuck. First up, and honestly, this is the big one. You just keep repeating the exact same movement mistakes that got you injured in the first place. This is things like always rounding your back when you lift something, or letting your knees collapse inward when you do a squat. Your body's giving you little hints, right? A little twinge here, some stiffness there, but you just push through until the pain is practically screaming at you. Sound familiar? And that right there is a classic failure of that first idea we talked about, low metacognition. Your internal coach is asleep at the wheel. Without the ability to watch yourself and make those tiny corrections, you're just reinforcing the very habits that are causing all the trouble. Okay, let's go to mistake number 2, which builds right on top of the first one. You actively avoid the hard rehab exercises. Oh, you know exactly which ones I'm talking about. Those little, annoying, boring movements your physical therapist prescribed. The clamshells, the bird dogs, the wall sits. They don't feel like a real workout, so you skip them. But guess what? Those are almost always the most important exercises of all. Now, this isn't just about being lazy. Psychologically, it's a sign of low cognitive flexibility. It means your brain is stuck in a rut. It prefers the easy, familiar movements instead of embracing the new, kinda awkward, challenging ones that are absolutely crucial for actually healing. Mistake number 3. Yeah, this one probably hits close to home for a ton of people. It's a simple but deadly lack of sustained focus. This is the classic story, right? The really sharp, awful pain finally goes away. You're feeling maybe 80% better and you just stop. You ditch the rest of the program because the immediate danger feels like it's past. But the root weakness is still there, just waiting for its chance to flare up again. And this is a perfect example of weak executive function. Remember the brain's CEO? Well, this is the CEO clocking out for the day at noon. It's a failure to see a long-term project through to the finish line, and for recovery, that is absolutely devastating. All right, mistake number 4. This is all about what you do in that split second when you feel a flare-up. You react instead of processing. Let's circle back to that fast reaction idea. Your back gives that little twinge, and your first instinct is to grab the Advil. That's a reaction. The much, much better slow processing move is to freeze and ask yourself, whoa, hold on, what did I just do? Was I sitting weirdly? Did I just lift that with terrible form? Analysis is everything. There's a cool psychology term for this. It's a failure of System 2 thinking. Your System 1 brain is your fast gut reaction brain. System 2 is your slow, analytical, strategic brain. Real, lasting healing requires you to let System 2 take charge, to pause, think, and strategize. And that takes us to our 5th and final mental mistake, And it's a big one because we almost always mislabel it. We're talking about procrastinating on your rehab. We tell ourselves things like, "Ah, I'm just being lazy," or "I'm too tired, I'll do it tomorrow." But listen, what's really happening here often has nothing to do with laziness. More often than not, you're putting it off because you're anxious. Anxious about the discomfort it might cause, or just overwhelmed by the time it's going to take. This is a really powerful psychological trap called avoidance anxiety. Every single time you put off your exercises, you're teaching your brain a very dangerous lesson, that avoiding this uncomfortable thing brings relief. And that tiny bit of short-term relief will slowly but surely kill your long-term healing. Okay, so we've laid out all 5 of these cognitive traps. It might sound a little discouraging, but here is the good news. Now that we've identified the problem, we can actually talk about the solution. So let's get to it, the path to recovery, which is all about mastering your mind so you can finally heal your body. So here's what this all boils down to. The secret to finally making physical therapy work for good is to build this 3-part mental toolkit. Number 1, you have to actively develop your metacognition. Be your own coach. Pay attention to how you move all day long. Number 2, strengthen your executive function. Be the CEO. Schedule your rehab like it's a critical meeting and see the entire program through. And number 3, build your cognitive flexibility. Intentionally do those boring exercises. Embrace the challenge of moving a new weight. In the end, the biggest secret of physical therapy isn't some magic exercise. It's this. Your body follows your mind. The pain will only stop coming back when you consciously decide to stop the mental mistakes that allow it to return. So the only real question left is,
I dey live the soft life. Zero pressure, just the good life. See,